Let's think about how we usually face a crisis. We tell ourselves things like, "This challenge will make me stronger," or "I will find meaning in this pain," or maybe, "I'm going to grow from this experience." These are all natural responses. But notice the assumption behind them, that there is a continuous you that can be improved by hardship. That suffering can be redeemed if you just find the right meaning for it. The writer Samuel Beckett's philosophy offers no such comfort. For Beckett, suffering is just suffering. It doesn't build character. It doesn't lead to personal growth. It just happens, and then it keeps happening. Now, I know that sounds incredibly bleak, but think about what it frees us from. It frees us from the tyranny of having to justify our pain. It liberates us from the pressure to turn every tragedy into a neat, tidy lesson. Sometimes pain is just pain. And maybe, just maybe, admitting that is more honest than forcing a meaning onto it that isn't really there. But this is where a major challenge to Beckett's ideas comes in. If nothing means anything, if our sense of self is a mirage, and if suffering has no purpose, then what's the basis for ethics? Why shouldn't we harm other people if, ultimately, nothing matters? Why bother with justice or compassion if existence is just one big, absurd cosmic joke? This isn't a minor point. Philosophers like Emmanuel Levinas have criticized this kind of thinking for its ethical emptiness. Beckett never really gives a direct answer. His work is filled with a strange kind of compassion, a tenderness for his suffering characters, even as he refuses to give their pain any grand purpose. But he never lays out a moral rulebook. Some people argue that his work implies an ethics of honesty of facing the grim reality of existence without the comfort of false hope. But others say that's not enough. Philosophy, they argue, has to give us a reason to act, to make good choices. Another huge piece of this puzzle is Beckett's relationship with religion. He was raised Protestant in a mostly Catholic Ireland, and his work is soaked in religious imagery, even as he rejects religious comfort. His most famous play, Waiting for Godot can be seen as a kind of parody of religious faith, two men endlessly waiting for a savior who never shows up. But it's more complicated than him just being an atheist. Theologian Karl Barth once suggested that Beckett might be one of the most religious writers of his time, precisely because he explores the absence of God so thoroughly. There's a concept in theology called the asterisk via negativa asterisk, or